Hello, everybody. I'd like to say welcome back. This is your first time. I will say welcome in to my video devotion. I'm your host. My name is Tom Lafoya. And without any further ado, let's get right into it. The topic for today's devotion is going to be Let God Choose for You. So we're taking a reading today out of Genesis chapter 48, verse 17 to 22. So backstory, Joseph's brothers have already came to Egypt. They've seen the promise of everything God was doing in Joseph's life. And at this point, Joseph's father, Jacob, he is passing away. Before he passes away, he wants to bless the two grandsons of Joseph. He wants to bless his grandsons, which are the two sons of Joseph. Their names were Ephraim and Manasseh. Now, Ephraim was the older one, and Manasseh was the youngest one. So usually, you would put your right hand on the older child, your left hand on the younger child, and bless them. But what Jacob did was, he was blind and he crisscrossed his hands in blessing the kids, and Joseph took his hands apart and tries like, hey, no, you got your hand on the wrong person. And Jacob is like, no, I understand, even though it's supposed to be the older person who gets the more of the blessing. But in this case, a younger person, your younger son, is going to be the one who's going to be greater than his brother, even though the older brother is still going to be great. Now, sometimes, in life, things don't go our way. We had a relationship that didn't work. We had a job, a dream job we were thinking of, someplace we want to relocate to, and things didn't work out for us. It may be because we were choosing our own way, or better yet, it might be those things didn't work out because God is the one who's choosing for us. Now, if you notice, after Joseph had switched his father's hands and he put his hands back, Joseph didn't try to do it again, because the thing is, whenever God does the choosing, so Joseph had his own plans for his sons. The same way how in our own lives, we have our own plans for our lives. I want to go do this. I need to do this. I want to be with that person. I want to have that job. I want to be here at this point. This is what I feel like I should be doing with my life. We want to do the choosing. But the thing is, like Joseph, we have to have enough respect and awe of God to know that his plan for us is way greater than anything we could ever fathom or imagine, and let him do the choosing for us. So even though Joseph had plans for his sons, when God did the choosing with the hands of Jacob, Joseph let that happen. So when God does the choosing in your life, with the plans that you had as opposed to the plan that he has, you have to let that go. So one of the things that happens is, one of the things I've learned is, whenever I've let God do the choosing in my life, everything that has come out of it has been the sweetest thing. Because, come on, like the Bible says, for his plans for us are greater than anything we could ever imagine. Like, you're thinking that promotion that you missed out on, it's like, oh man, that guy got that promotion, I've been waiting for it, or I've been wanting this girl this whole time and she rejected me. And then boom, here comes along a way more beautiful person, or maybe a guy who's way more stable, more your type, or a better promotion than that one that you were so hungry for. And now you think back about it, you're just like, why was I so worried about that in the first place? That's why we need to be able to have a spirit of surrender to let God do the choosing for us. So it says, remember that God always has the best for us, but you have to be willing to yield to his will. That's one thing I struggle with, is just total surrender. Because, it's hard to surrender to somebody whenever you don't know where they're going to take you. Like, like if you hop in a car and then, let's say you order an Uber, and then you hop in it, then the driver's like, close your eyes and just trust me to take you to where I'm supposed to take you. You'd be like, nah, dude. I'm saying like, you seem cool and all, but no, I'm not gonna close my eyes. I want to see where I'm going and stuff. But that's why we have this thing called faith. So you have to have faith in God and trust that God has the best plans for you, to let him do the choosing. Now, this is not something that is easy. Now, let's take the example of, like a potter. When somebody's making, those little clay jars and stuff, they're spinning it in the movie. That's always a nice scene. They're spinning it, they got their hands with the mud. One of the funny ones is whenever it's like a couple, and then they got the music, and then with their hands and stuff. Anyway, that's a different story for a different day. But whenever the potter has that clay spinning on the wheel, and he already has a vision in mind of the vessel that he wants to come out of it. He knows. So God is the potter, you're his clay. He knows what design he wants to make out of you. He knows what he wants you to look like, how you're gonna come out, the different turns you're gonna take in life, the different places you're gonna go, the final result, what kind of vase you're gonna be. He knows what it is, and he is leading you there, but you have to let God do the choosing for you. If you try to fight him, it's not gonna work, because that thing has to spin smoothly to bring out the design. Now, the design that God has in mind may be the same thing that we have in mind, or it may be completely different, but you have to be like Joseph and be smart and respectful enough and walk in obedience, because what God has in store for you is way better than anything you could imagine for yourself, all right? And remember that God does not make mistakes. So, if you've lost that dream job, or you lost that girl who you thought was the love of your life, everything happens for a reason. It's either a lesson or a blessing. So pick which way it's gonna be, So he never makes mistakes. He got to make a mistake with the talent that he gave you. One of the things that happens with me is sometimes I'm like, man, why did God give me the talent of art, as you can see and stuff behind me? I wish he had given me the talent of rapping, because rappers make way more money than artists and things like that. But God knows why he gave you certain gifts, and he knows how he's going to use those gifts to turn it into the vessel that he already had in mind when he created you. For God knew you before he even created you and brought you here on earth. So when Joseph did his hands like that, he was being guided by God to switch his hands. And if you notice, switching of the hands represents like the cross, so to speak. That's kind of like a nice little thing there. But he was guided by God to do that. So God already knows how he's going to guide different people in and out of your life, different circumstances that are going to work. Recently, I'm not going to give details, but something happened in my life where I wasn't too happy about it. I'm like, why am I going through this stuff, man? This is crazy. This is ridiculous. I don't want to do this. But it turns out, had I not done that, something that's wrong with me, meaning like health-wise, would have not been discovered. And I'm talking about something huge. But I had to go through that stuff for me to come to where. But if I hadn't let God do the choosing for that opportunity, I would have never had the chance to avoid this disastrous health issue. So always let God do the choosing. It is hard, because as human beings, we want to see where we're headed. And if we don't like where we're headed, then we want to change course. But you need to let God do the choosing in your life, all right? So take a moment just to think about, the plans that God has for your life. And then meditate on Psalms 25, verse 12. And that says, "Who then are those who fear the Lord? He will instruct them in ways they should choose." So when I say God does the choosing, he's not going to just be like, yes, this woman, boom. But he is going to guide those people. That's why we need to stay in prayer. Because when you stay in prayer, it keeps the line of communication between you and God open. So that way you're always like, hey God, let me know what decisions I should make. Like in my example, like I said about this opportunity, I chose the opportunity after I prayed, and that opportunity is what revealed to me that I had this little health condition I need to take care of. It could be disastrous. So that's how God works. So he says, for those who fear him. So the first thing is you need to fear God, like kind of how Joseph feared God. Joseph respected the decisions that God was making through Jacob. And because of that, God, he said he will instruct them in the ways they should choose. God will, if you fear him, he will guide you in the way that you should choose. And then Psalms 138, verse 8, short version, the Lord will work out his plans for my life. So God will always work out the plans for your life. You might have little nicks and bruises, the divorce hurt you, or missing out on that job really took a turn. You were really looking forward to, that trip you were supposed to take and things, but the Lord will work out his plans for your life. Maybe you missing out on that trip saved you from dying like like a car crash or something down the road. You never know, but you always just let God do the choosing. And how do you know how God is telling you what to choose? It's through prayer. Okay? So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you all were blessed. Once again, I am your host, Tom Lafoya. Take care, and I'll see you all next time, all right? Bye-bye, guys.